We got 4 players. We got duel. We've got the nerd rage going on a wild goose chase. I don't know if that makes a whole lot of sense. You know, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him fish. Something like that. Happy Death and Alpha Froggy already prepared. So Happy Death rolling with the Angel. Okay. Someone knows what the map is and wants to abuse it. This is the kind of map where most mechs can actually be pretty good. There's no mech that gets mapped out by this. So this is a game, this is the Carry Me #1 tournament. This is bracket 11. We've got Mad Depression. We have Happy Death and Alpha Froggy on the left-hand side, and the Angel and Saucer. Okay, why not? And versus in the right-hand side, we have in the blue corner, we've got Scrippy and xRetri are going to be our Nerd Rage team. We've got a Warthog and Striker, so everyone is a slightly different mech. That new Nexus Warthog skin actually looks pretty slick. Going ahead and neutralizing this post, have already taken the corner. They look to be right on par with Happy Death and Alpha Froggy. So Happy Death is attempting to carry Alpha Froggy. Alpha Froggy not necessarily the best player at this game, but that's okay. We should give him more attention. Because the beginning of this game, none of the teams are really doing anything particularly sneaky. He's just socketing a handful of moneymakers, going ahead and giving his team a little bit more cash to work with, building a couple of infantry. And so he might take those up. He might try to... Interesting. Okay, he's going to slap them in a Boxer. Boxer's just an APC unit. So meanwhile, Happy Death is scouting forward. He's going to try and take middle with all the force he can. xRetri trying to pick off any tanks he can. There is no anti-air. There are no players here to respond. So Happy Death is going to find himself stretched thin. Alpha Froggy, meanwhile, has a jammer with this. Unfortunately, he gets scouted. So the jammer is a unit that hides your units, your other units, from radar. So Alpha Froggy might actually get taken out here. No! No! His successful Scrippy with a little bit of bloodlust there, not knowing when to quit. But xRetri going to go ahead and take out the rest of these units with that Warthog. So the jammer hides units from your radar, so if you do drop a jammer and a couple of Boxers, what you'll find is that you will be able to neutralize and capture an outpost before anyone sees anything on their minimap. So jammers are actually a pretty creative thing to play with. So in this case, Scrippy going ahead, and this is going to be awkward. Happy Death is not coming up the traditional side alley. Happy Death has dropped his units in the center approach to this middle outpost, so we're going to get a much faster confrontation between the red and blue forces than previous games. Scrippy going ahead, dropping one lockbox and capturing that. Happy Death has already taken the other lockbox. So, but Happy Death has his Angel, and he's going to go ahead and start sniping in with his railgun. Trying to reposition some of his units, spread them out a little bit because this artillery is firing in, and those artillery have splash damage. So he's trying to prevent this artillery from damaging multiple things at once. That's going to be his first target. As he snipes in, he's going to take out the artillery. Alpha Froggy still dropping infantry behind. Infantry not the toughest things out there, so while they're going to be able to do some damage, if they're getting shot at, they're not going to be able to do damage before they get killed. So these cheeses are ineffective. Well, ineffective. How about that? We'll adjust my English a little bit. Scrippy, meanwhile, still trying to just kind of leapfrog up as many units as he can, set up a big wide wall of units, but Happy Death, he's got the sniper railgun. He's just going to pick off ratchets, pick off Longhorn if you keep giving those to him. Ultimately, the way you counter Angel is not going to be with this heavy wall of units. It's going to be with light units. We're going to have to see zippers. We're going to have to see jokers. We're going to have to see infantry, so that the Angel, when it tries to use its snipe, it just gets overwhelmed. There's more units than it's able to deal with. So ultimately, I think Red Team in the long game is going to have the advantage just because of the mech composition, not necessarily because of the unit layout. xRetri going ahead, drop some heavy mines. He does not want this to get pushed. He would prefer neutral over nothing, or nerf or nothing, but that hog cannon is in desperate need of a nerf. using that air to ground, boosting the air to ground with the active ability and just chewing through those artillery, but Happy Death too fast. Meanwhile, Alpha Froggy still sticking with the whole jammer boxer thing, but gets caught yet again in the air, so unable to really get a good cheese off, but he is going to steal a tank. Almost. I really don't know if that one went through or not. Trying to neutralize this post, but just doesn't have enough firepower. Was actually able to capture one of those Longhorn. Happy Death, meanwhile, fighting the good fight, dropping some zippers of his own. Zippers, pretty weak units, but you'll notice the artillery focus at the thing that's closest to them. So by dropping these zippers, he's preventing the artillery from hitting his main clump of unit, and just basically sacrificing some dirt cheap things. Alpha Froggy, able to capture and neutralize that outpost, unfortunately couldn't hold on to it, but able to wrest it from the grip of that Warthog who was so close to his own comfort zone. Red is starting to get an upkeep lead in this game, and they don't have that many mines on the field. Now, Happy Death did drop this big cluster of heavy mines down, and when Blue starts to think about maybe pushing in desperation, they're going to lose all of these tanks, and it's going to be so good. Like this. Just like this. Ooh. Oh. Oh. Oh, that hurts. Now there's no tanks. All of these units are anti-air, so Happy Death could push in with 2 or 3 Longhorn and finish all of these off. Blue team just lost the game with that one push. So Alpha Froggy going to jump in, going to drop as many infantry as he can, just keeps on with this harassment, and actually he's going to be able to get it from Scrippy and xRetri. Now that Warthog cannon is good, but it's what you'd call a target-rich environment. There's just too many things to shoot. Trying to just snipe Alpha Froggy over his post, just sitting there air to air, but Alpha Froggy don't give a fuck. He's just going to stand here and take it. Levels up, just still pumping out infantry, does not mind taking all these bullets to the face. Alpha Froggy making it work. Going ahead, if Blue's going to feed him all these Longhorn, well, by golly, he's just going to abduct them. Almost kills Scrippy. Happy Death going to drop some infantry of his own to help fight the good fight. Meanwhile, Red Team did finally completely neutralize this middle. Blue is down to 44 upkeep out of 90 compared to the Red Team. So this is Red's team to throw right now. Now, Blue's trying to transition into these gangsters. Ooh, xRetri getting taken down by the Stingers. Stingers, they look kind of like Seekers. They're these little socketable anti-air units, but they don't really have a reload time. Stingers just kind of spray a continuous fan of missiles out, and so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Stingers all socketed with flackers. Red Team has a very, very strong anti-air composition. Scrippy trying to salvage what he can, trying to sell some lockboxes, just so he can get a little bit more money, build a couple more units, because Blue is finding themselves getting knocked out of this game, and they need to get some more units on the field if they're going to stand a chance. Now, Red Team does not have a great unit composition to fight this. They're a little bit more spread out. They're all over the map. They're at middle. They're behind middle. They're at this forward outpost. And this is all anti-air. A good push of tanks or gangsters would probably be able to take this out, but they need units to push with. And Scrippy abandoning that Longhorn, just getting it taken out. There's little onesie, twosie snipes left and right where they're losing units here and there are adding up to be extremely significant. So Scrippy instead going to try to backdoor, going to try to take something undefended. But in the meantime, Red is not going to stop. They're going to just push right forward. They're going to neutralize this right corner outpost. And they may start to get curious and start nosing in at that fort as well. So Alpha Froggy starting to push in. Maybe a couple of Longhorn, maybe a couple of artillery. Happy Death with the fantastic map vision goes ahead, puts a stasis on those Longhorns so they can't shoot, and just finishes them off with his sniper. Adding insult to injury, dropping Necros on top of the dead Longhorns. Necros will actually absorb dead units and bring them over to your side. So using those kind of unheard of little units that are kind of underutilized. So this Longhorn wreckage should actually just turn into yet another red tank, and they actually come back with half their hit points still intact. So the Necro commits suicide, has had enough of life. Death is better anyway in the Necro's mind, and goes ahead and offs himself in celebration of his victory. So Happy Death actually stasis his Scrippy, Scrippy is unable to take off and has to bunny hop back to his fort, and is going ahead this slow, methodical push. None of these units are capable of moving. You've got the Stingers, the Tesla Tower, the Honeypot, and now a Goliath in front just to soak up damage. This is not a traditional push. This is more a, I'm going to snipe your stuff, and let me just set up a shield so I can stand closer and snipe more things. The Honeypot healing the Goliath so that it just can't get taken down. Alpha Froggy with the Death Ray sounds pretty intimidating. Almost gets taken down by the Blue Seekers, but Blue just does not have enough units here to deal with this. So Alpha Froggy just changing his mind, saying, you know what, if there's Seekers over there, I'll just come over here. So as the Sauce are going to be able to knock that down pretty quick, uses his ultimate, summons a few creeps, and just captures that right away. Without Happy Death's help, mind you. Alpha Froggy working it, but does get taken down by that air-to-air from the Hog. The Outpost did not have enough energy to keep him healed, so that level 8 Warthog just rips right through his hull, assassinates the pilot midair. But Happy Death is still here, and this is now his outpost. So Happy Death going to go ahead and lock this down with Goliaths and Ratchets and all sorts of other fun things. So now this is domination for Red. With the capture of that outpost, there is no map control whatsoever for Blue. Blue is now getting officially dominated, so their income is cut down. Their upkeep is not working out for them. So if they don't push out now, that's basically game, and it's just a matter of time. In addition, they're going to start taking automatic fort damage. Nothing's shooting it right now, and yet their fort's still getting hurt. That is just from that domination damage. And so Alpha Froggy abducting more tanks, abducting more Goliath Seekers, whatever he can get his filthy paws on. Those damn saucers will get you. So xRetri actually getting taken down with a Goliath in cargo, getting sniped by the Gorgon and Happy Death. There's just too much anti-air here. I would also point out that there is neither a Warthog nor a Helix on the winning team right now. This is complete domination without using anything that's commonly regarded as broken or unbalanced. These red team, Happy Death and Alpha Froggy, just that good. Making sure that the other team experiences what can only be called mad depression. So Nerd Rage hanging on, trying to do any damage that they can do. Warthog with that ultimate, it does not make you invincible. It makes you pretty damn close, but there is just so much firepower. So blue team going down, Nerd Rage getting taken out in this tournament, this bracket 11, losing to Wild Goose Chase with Happy Death and Alpha Froggy. A GG indeed. That is what I would describe as a successful carry. Nicely done. And now for something completely different. So we will move on in this tournament. So here's our brackets right now. We will be moving on for the